Today's video, we're going to talk about search ads on TikTok and how they work as good or better as Google search ads. This is a case study that I'm going to share with you here on today's video, as well as a tutorial on how exactly to replicate these search campaign results on TikTok for yourself. Okay, so the biggest concern right now is people love the hell out of some Google ads, Google search ads to be specific, because obviously you're tapping into would-be buyers who are looking to buy now. TikTok, it's actually the same thing with their search ads, and they've opened things up so that not only can you just run search ads on TikTok by itself, not anything else, not on any other placements on TikTok, but you can also do this in a way that you can actually target individual keywords. You could target and you could change the bid for each keyword. You could actually add negative keywords. You can do everything you could basically do with a Google search campaign on TikTok. And the general gist of it is, if anything works for you on Google search ads, it'll probably work for you on TikTok. 90+% chance it will work for you on TikTok, and your results will obviously vary. It's not a matter of if it will work though and get a good ROI that's similar to Google. It's just a matter of how much can you get out of it, because yes, the audience on TikTok does trend younger. However, there's older people on it as well. You can actually say what age demographic you need to target if you need to. That is, if you know younger people aren't going to bring you the deal size that you need, for instance. But with that said, it's usually the same keywords that will work on one, but it will work on the other. And if you're in a local business, it's fantastic. If you're selling a product, a pretty mass market product, it works fantastic. I'm going to go over a couple different examples where we actually did one of each of those. But in general, if you're even halfway on the fence about it, you should try it anyway, because you don't stand to lose very much. You can set things up, spend a couple $100 on ads, and already know if it works or not. Because unlike with Google, you don't need to run your ads for a long time just to build up some momentum with them and traction with them to know if it will work. TikTok, while it is like that to some regard, because the competition's so much less, that is, you're probably the only one in your entire market doing it, you don't have to wait nearly as long and can get results in a couple months in a lot of instances already and get profits going, or you're past break even with your campaign in a couple months already. So with that said, I'm going to go over all these details and more on this video. Make sure you stay to the end of the video where I'll have the individual case studies there where we talk about how much results we got for the companies we're working with. So if you were wondering if this works as good as Google search ads, it does. And for that matter, Google search ads, Microsoft search ads, and TikTok ads are going to be the trifecta that our firm is going to use as much as possible at our company for clients and for companies that I'm also part owner in as well, e-commerce companies as well, because it works that good. Before I get into the content, if you do not know who I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, more profits from their ads up front before charging management fees. The idea being that the management fees that we charge are already offset by the increase in profits or profits in general from a campaign that we're setting up for a client before the fee kicks in. And no other agency, I promise you, on the whole planet offers any kind of similar guarantee, which should tell you something about the quality of the information you're getting on this video. That is, it's coming from somebody who has to literally guarantee results on client stuff that nobody else can do. So with that said, any businesses who make money on Google now, as I mentioned at the start of this video, you should absolutely be doing it for TikTok ads as well. Set yourself up an account, move the keywords over, and see what happens, okay? Now, here are the basic steps and pointers here I can give you in order to make this successful, because you can screw it up. Just like anything else, it can be screwed up. However, you can increase the chances of you not screwing it up just by following these basic 5 tips here, which is start with a good UGC style ad, okay? UGC stands for user generated content ad. This is the same concept of what gets a video ad to work on Facebook. That is what we're using now more than anything, outside of being able to get a paid feature on TV or on the news and then using that as the ad, which I've got videos about that and how extremely profitable that is nowadays. which anybody can do because you can pay to get on a new products feature part of a news station or whatever and get that as far as a Facebook ad. But beyond that, the second most profitable ad we can run is a UGC ad where we take a customer or an actor that we pretend is a customer and we have that customer review the product as if they're reviewing it just for something that they're organically sharing on social media. For example, this is what it would be like. Oh, I got this new towel in the mail from Amazon today, and it's the best towel that I've ever bought. Actually, I use it to clean this up and dry this and this and this. It's not like other towels because of this and this. And you basically just, like they're boasting that they bought it and how great it is to make other people envious. That's the general angle, what you want to go for with these UGC style ads. So you're going to make a video ad like this, and that's going to be the basis of your search campaign. Now, there are some small exceptions where if your service or product is unique enough and in demand enough, where you could literally just show the features and benefits of it, or like our local business, you could show inside the business. If it's an ice cream shop, what the inside of the business looks like and so forth. And that might work best. But even then, a UGC style ad is probably going to work better. 95% of the time it will generally work better. Showing a customer going to the ice cream shop, showing how good it is, because that's the type of content that's on TikTok normally. And when they go to search for something on TikTok, they're not looking for some corporate-y looking ad that says, we are a tire shop in Dallas, come to us. No, they want to see why it's the best tire shop. They want to see a review more than anything, basically. If you could get an ad where your tire shop was reviewed on the news, that would be generally going to work better, but obviously a lot of you guys aren't going to do that right off the get, at least right at the start. So that's your ad. Now, secondly, with this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to have a search-only campaign set up. You do not want to play under the placement settings to have your ad run anywhere but search ads, because TikTok ads are hard to get working in general. Normally, we're only going to be doing remarketing on TikTok because the traffic isn't the best. Now, if you get something to work on Facebook, you should try to get it to work on TikTok in terms of prospecting or advertising to people that you've had no relationship with before or never been to your website. Remarketing will always work because you already know that it's not very hard to nudge them and get them the rest of the way to purchasing from you if they've already been to your site before. You know they're in market for what you have, and they kind of already probably trust you already to some regard and know of you, and therefore more likely to click on your ad and get more out of the ad space than what other people would get. So, but with that said, okay, to keep things simple at the beginning, you're going to just run that search campaign by itself, no other placements. Okay, then next thing to know is you're going to have the same keywords as your search campaign that you run on Google. I don't recommend starting out with TikTok. I recommend starting out ads on Google so that you could find the keywords that work, so you don't have to spend forever to get your TikTok search campaign to work. If you had less money, I would recommend starting out with a Bing search campaign because you can get to profitability quicker with it because it has less competition. Take the keywords, search terms that you find from the search terms report that convert, use as your keywords on TikTok, okay? And for that matter, the keywords that you find work on these Google or Bing or / Microsoft, that's what you're going to use as keywords you're targeting on TikTok. It's just the easiest, most straightforward thing to get working. Like with Bing, I always tell everybody who watches on the channel, keywords that work on Google, you use the same thing on Bing and you'll have turnkey results. Well, it's the same thing with this. Fourth thing to know is bid adjustments or use a bid adjustment formula. So you can Google bid adjustment formula, but basically using a bid adjustment formula was something that I used to use at our firm all the time for about 4 years ago. Smart bidding eventually on Google, you could run a more profitable campaign with smart bidding than you could with manual bidding, where you're going to manually select what you're willing to pay per click on each keyword. Now it's smart bidding and you say you're willing to pay XYZ ROI, and that's going to get you the best results because there's more machine learning involved in the process. On TikTok, you can't use the smart bidding stuff, so it's manual bidding. In order to get the most out of manual bidding, you're going to use a bid adjustment formula to identify based upon how each keyword's performing, which you can certainly do in the reporting inside your TikTok ads account. If a keyword's converting better than what you need, then you're going to up the bid. If it's producing below what you need, you're going to go downwards in bid. With the idea being that if you know what you need to be paying per lead or per sale or ROI, you could plug that into your bid adjustment formula and it'll spit out exactly what your bid needs to be. So for instance, if you need 1,000% ROI and you have a 500% ROI on this keyword, the formula will tell you you need to cut your bid in half and you'll now have 1,000% ROI on this keyword. So with that said, it's not a matter of, like I mentioned at the start of this video, that will TikTok ads work because they're so new and there's not much competition. You're going to get it to work for sure. It's just a matter of how many sales can you get at the ROI that you need. Google and Bing ads are basically the same thing. It's not a matter of if, but how much, assuming you're going to go ahead and do this work to have the best ad and the best landing page there. On TikTok, there's no competition basically in most markets. So it's just a matter of throwing your stuff up there, and as long as it's in demand and people are searching for it, you'll make money. Number 5, I wanted to mention negative keywords. So negative keywords aren't as important because, again, it's not to not sound like a broken record here, but it's way less competitive. You don't have to do as much. You don't have to be as sophisticated with your strategy in order to get a profitable campaign going after expenses on TikTok search ads. That said, you certainly do want to look at your search terms report and add your negative keywords just like you would run with and do with the Google search campaign or a Bing campaign. And the best bet would be to, the very first day, you go and add negative keywords, and you do that daily until you see the search terms report mostly clean. Just like I would normally, what I mentioned to do on Google and Microsoft. Then for the most part, you can, within the first 90 days of running your campaign, you'll have most of the negative keywords you need to add, and then you're good. So that's your basic tip. So that obviously wasn't very advanced, but they were all very important things to use and do. So with that said, what kind of results now can you get from this? It's not a matter of, like I said a couple times in this video already, it's not a matter of if it will work, assuming people are buying from the same keywords on Google, it's just how much. Before I get into the details on these couple companies where we already ran a campaign, I wanted to mention that if you want somebody that already knows the ropes on this and can set it up right away, definitely reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I can have a conversation with you on how much results we can bring you on guarantee, and then you don't have to do it yourself. Or if we've already worked in your niche market already, by the time you see this, you can use the exact templates that we've used to sell your product or service on not only TikTok, but Google, Facebook, Bing. You copy paste all the ads, landing pages, campaign templates that work to sell it well in your niche market, in which we can tell you the results you're going to get with it up front, into your ad accounts and get the same results we have, which there'd be no reason why not to do that, because for what we sell the templates for, you're going to be able to get a 100,000% ROI on it, because in the markets where we ran ads for years already, to not use the best ad and the best landing page we've used and found works the best, there's no reason not to do it for the 4-figure fee that we charge for the entire sales funnel setup essentially. But we've been offering these templates because they've been very popular and nobody else is really offering them out there, no other agencies that I know of. We've got people using these templates to start whole other businesses from scratch. You could know nothing about tree services, take our tree services campaign template and a landing page, launch it, take the phone calls, say yes, I'll have a guy out to do the work, hurry up, go and call another tree service company, tell them that you have a job you want to sub out, take a margin for yourself and have a business. Or you could take the leads and sell them to tree service businesses after marking up the cost it costs you to produce them by 50 to 100% and have a passive income business that way. We've got several people doing exactly that with these templates because they work so good. And we also got people like starting e-commerce businesses. They go through our list of e-commerce businesses that we worked with. They take the template and the results that we know we can get in that space. And they use it to run a campaign in a market that our client isn't in, a different country or what have you, or a different city. And they have turnkey results with it. If you're interested in that opportunity, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com as well. As a side, before I get back to mentioning these case studies here and the results we got using TikTok search ads, if you have any questions about anything I'm covering here, and you have a quick one-off, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. So getting into the actual case studies here. So the first company that we did TikTok search ads that I wanted to mention, because it's been more than 2 at this stage, was a tax settlement company. This is a type of company where if you've got back taxes that you owe the IRS and you can't pay them, this company will negotiate with the IRS basically on your behalf. That's I'm sure you've seen companies that advertise this way online. So with this said, what we needed for this client to be acceptable was a 700% return on investment on ad spend, which we were already getting through Facebook ads, Google ads, Microsoft ads. We tried the TikTok ads. The 700% ROAS was no problem to get. Now it did take some time running the ads, take the same keywords from Bing that we were using over there, doing bid adjustments to find out the perfect bid setting for each keyword that we were targeting. But we got the 700% ROAS, and it took us about 5 months of time of optimizing those ads in order to get to that level of results. Partially because it takes time for the algorithm to kind of adjust, because there's some element of that going on, but more so just having to set the correct bid for each keyword individually, seeing the actual conversion rate we were getting for each click on each keyword, given the conversion rate is going to be different on TikTok, obviously, than what it's going to be on Google. Significantly different. Okay? That's obviously going to vary based upon the niche or whatever. But your conversion rate should actually be somewhat similar as what we found as you're going to find on Google, but probably less, at least in the beginning, because keyword matching algorithm that bid on a keyword doesn't mean you're only going to show up for that. It's going to be that keyword in similar terms. It's less, that algorithm's not very good at this stage, and because of that, your conversion rate's less. So that's something to mention. Now, the amount of sales that we got, not a whole lot. So just to put it into perspective, in terms of the sales we were getting from the Bing ads compared to TikTok, it was about a third of what we were getting through Bing. But what we were getting through Bing is hundreds of leads a month, to give you some perspective on things. So it was decent, but that's a fairly big niche. A lot of, everybody has to pay taxes, and at any time, 5-10% of people owe money to the IRS. That, I wouldn't even say that. 1 to 5% owe money to the IRS at some point. So you've got a fairly big market of people to get in front of that, where things can work. If you're in a micro niche, like you sell electron microscopes or something like that, you're not going to do nowhere near those numbers because there's just not that many people searching. So if you're not in a fairly big niche, I would say TikTok search ads are a waste of time, even though you could get some extra free revenue. A couple hours of setting up a campaign, actually, because you probably are going to be able to take your creative that already works from Facebook and move it over, and then take the keywords from Google search and move it over and create a campaign because you already got everything ready to go. So you'll have to decide based upon the information I just gave you whether you want to do it or not. We also had a mailbox company as well. So for products, this also works, as I mentioned at the start of this video. Mailbox company, though, because it was a unique mailbox design, we were able to get profitability on the campaign for them in just a month already. And at a 500% ROAS, which was our minimum requirement for the client in order to, that they would accept, and that was doable for the company. So what you should basically always do, if this isn't clear, for your business, you should know what your ROI needs to be, and then you're going to try to find the place to advertise where you can get the advertising, that return the quickest. Then you're going to take part of your profit, and you're going to go and try to find another traffic source, and another traffic source, and another traffic source. And you keep doing this. The new traffic source might take a few months to get to the ROI you need. That's fine, because it's only 10% of, or roughly, of your ad spend. Even if it takes 6 months to work, it's fine, because you got your other campaigns that are financing most of your operations. And you always have 10% of your ad spend at any given time going to speculative traffic sources that you need to optimize for a long time to get drilled in to get the ROI that your other stuff already gets. So that's another market. Now, for local businesses, this is also going to be very good. I don't care if you have a local tire shop, ice cream shop like I was talking about before, local dermatology clinic. In fact, it's going to work more so for those type of businesses than other businesses. Have only so many companies that we work with on a local context that where this fits the mold, it would be useful. But I want it to be clear that you can do this for a certain national service company, you can do it for a national product company, you can also do it for a local service company or local product company as well. This will work for the type of business you have. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be more so is there enough search volume on TikTok to actually make it work and be worth your time messing with? And that would be their main differentiator as to whether you decide you're going to either do it or not do it. If you want the tips on how to actually if you like this strategy and you want a bunch of other strategies like this that are basically guaranteed turnkey extra revenue and profit in your business, then, and if you haven't already, you should subscribe to this channel, because all the information on this channel that I share comes from myself just doing ad strategy and testing all day long as my full-time job. I spend the weekends reviewing all the stuff during the week that I find works at our firm, and with that, you're going to find that highly valuable, given that most of the other information you find online and on YouTube about how to do ad strategy is given to you by people who don't really run any ads, or they run a couple ads and they don't have anything valuable to share. This is my full-time job, and just the strategy, not even execution, but the strategy to find what works. And so anyway, with that said, if you want to learn from the best. Also, on top of that, if you like the channel, you should also check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has step-by-step information on how we are actually using these various ad platforms and creating landing pages and tracking systems to get results on ad campaigns. Everything you need to replicate the results we're using to guarantee results for our clients, step by step, with screenshots, with everything you need to use it. So if you haven't checked that out, you should definitely check that out as well. With that said, we're going to be doing TikTok search ads more and more. I'm sure it will get less profitable over time as more competition hops in, but right now it's really hot. And we know that it'll work for basically any business type based upon the experience that we've had with it already. So you should go ahead and right away jump into it with both feet. That said, I want to also say, if you need a little bit of guidance, but you're not looking to hire an ad agency per se, you can also reach out to me, and I have been offering 30-minute consult sessions where I go through your entire campaigns and I let you know if the campaign you have is going to work or why it's not working, and get you on track with what you're doing. In a lot of you guys' cases, it's not the ads that are the problem. It's your website, it's your pricing strategy, or whatever. I can, within that short amount of time, typically tell you where your bottleneck is, and you can get unstuck from what you're doing. So if you're interested in that kind of guidance, even if you're a regular company or even another agency, it's fine. I provide that type of consulting and coaching as well. It doesn't matter the type of company you have per se. I serve anybody that needs that type of coaching. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said Google search ads was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.